LeBron James will miss the beginning of the 2025-26 season, according to Shams Charania of ESPN, who reports that the Lakers star is dealing with sciatica on his left side that will keep him out for at least 3 to 4 weeks. The Lakers open the season in 12 days, on October 21st against the Warriors. If he returned at the very earliest of his projected timeline, James could be back for the team's first NBA Cup game on October 31st. However, his return seems more likely to occur in early to mid-November, barring any setbacks. James, who has appeared in 1,884 total regular season and playoff games, played 71 regular season games in 2023-24 and 70 in his age 40 season in 24-25. NBA insider Mark Stein adds that this will be the first time in James' career that he'll be out for opening night. He was previously 22 for 22 in that regard. The 21-time All-Star kept up with his elite production in his age 40 season last year, averaging 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per contest. James missed the Lakers' first 2 preseason games and all of training camp with what coach J.J. Redick referred to as nerve irritation in his glut. Jake LaRavia started both of LA's first 2 preseason games and is a candidate to fill in for James and keep an extended role once he returns. The Los Angeles Lakers watched Spencer Dinwiddie struggle to close the 2023-24 season, and he is already having issues with the Hornets. Charlotte is his 4th team in 3 seasons, and the 32-year-old guard was already catching social media heat in the preseason. He finished with 6 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds on October 11th against the Mavericks, but the Hornets were outscored by 18 points in his 19 minutes. Dinwiddie can put up numbers, but with a negative impact on winning. After his 2024 buyout from the Raptors, Dinwiddie chose the Lakers. They immediately inserted him as a backup guard, but things never worked out. He shot under 40% from the field and averaged just 3.0 points per game in the playoffs as Los Angeles was knocked out by the Nuggets in the opening round. The Hornets wanted multiple veteran guards behind LaMelo Ball, but Dinwiddie is an inefficient score-first option. Ball, Trey Mann, and Colin Sexton are ahead of him in the guard rotation. The 32-year-old may ultimately be cut or could be stuck on the bench for the retooling franchise. Former Lakers guard Spencer Dinwiddie is struggling in Charlotte. Dinwiddie averaged 11.0 points, 4.4 assists, 2.6 rebounds, and 0.9 steals in 27.0 minutes per game last season for the Mavericks. It looked like a bounce back after the disaster in Los Angeles, but the on-off numbers tell a different story. The Mavs had a plus 3.4 net rating without Dinwiddie on the floor and sat at negative 5.1 when he played. Dallas was 8.5 points per 100 possessions worse with Dinwiddie on the floor. The 32-year-old struggles on defense and is more of a combo guard. He was throwing questionable passes in the Hornets' latest preseason game and will struggle in Charlotte if he makes their regular season roster. The Lakers have their sights set on returning to title contention, but the Hornets are in a different place. They haven't made the playoffs since 2016 and have just 3 appearances since returning in 2005. LaMelo must stay healthy, or he risks the team giving up on him. Dinwiddie is an injury insurance policy, but it is quickly going belly up. Unless this is a stealth tank move, the Hornets have to think hard about when to play Dinwiddie. If his on-off numbers from last season hold, Charlotte may ruin their postseason dreams by leaving him on the floor too long. The Hornets will likely give their point guard minutes to Ball and Mann when healthy. That means playing Dinwiddie on the wing, or not at all. If the veteran guard's impact on winning doesn't improve, he will be cut or glued to the bench in Charlotte. The Los Angeles Lakers were wise to let Spencer Dinwiddie walk when they did. He is still a bucket, but the regression is happening fast. Things haven't looked promising through 3 preseason games, and the veteran may be on his last NBA stint. Dinwiddie has much to prove, or this will be the end. The early signs aren't positive, and Lakers fans are sadly not surprised. Perhaps if the Los Angeles Lakers had a more realistic chance of landing a transformational superstar like Giannis Antetokounmpo down the line, they would be more hesitant to make short-term additions. However, the Milwaukee Bucks star's been primarily connected to the New York Knicks, and Lakers insider Jovan Buha, 54-minute mark, Hat Tip Hoops Hype, reported Los Angeles might be more open to a short-term move as a result. Giannis Antetokounmpo has left the door cracked open, but we've since had the reporting that Giannis' preferred destination was the Knicks, not the Lakers, and that it was really one team he was considering, and that was specifically the Knicks. I wonder if the Lakers' recent shift toward being more of a kind of short-term or win-now mode is maybe in part due to Doncic's success at Eurobasket, but I think more so maybe gaining some intel that some of the big fish that they were hoping to catch are not going to be available or as available as they thought. I think the Lakers got to be careful with how they position themselves for the future, because if it's tough to find a Knicks-Giannis trade. So if that for whatever reason just can't happen and Milwaukee refuses to play ball with New York because they don't want to trade him in conference, they don't like what New York's offering, then the Lakers can swoop in and potentially offer a competitive package. You got to be careful with the cap space, but it does seem like the Lakers are a little bit more open to a short-term move. On Tuesday, ESPN's Shams Charania reported the Knicks were the only place Antetokounmpo wanted to play outside of Milwaukee, which led to trade discussions between the two teams. Yet those discussions never got traction, as those in Milwaukee believe New York did not make a strong enough offer, while the Knicks did not think the Bucks were serious about entertaining an Antetokounmpo trade. From the Lakers' perspective, a short-term move could help them capitalize on the upcoming season with Doncic and LeBron James still paired together. The King is 40 years old and entering the final season of his deal, so the organization's focus will likely eventually turn to building a winner around Doncic. Los Angeles' front office will surely evaluate how things are unfolding in the loaded Western Conference ahead of the February trade deadline and reassess accordingly, but a quick start could make it more likely to focus on win-now moves with one of the league's best 1-2 punches in Doncic and James leading the way. That is especially true if the front office wouldn't be sacrificing a realistic chance of landing a two-time MVP like Antetokounmpo with such a move.